prep and crew, as it were. We're getting ready to head from the Marixa Republic back to the Pact Worlds because they were they were doing this. Actually, I think you guys were stopping off. Were you stopping off at the Paperleaf first? Can't remember if you were going to stop off there first.
We were going back and forth. We just delivered the
No, no.
message
Yeah.
to Paperleaf.
Okay. Yeah. So this would be where you guys were getting ready to head to the Pack Worlds. So, um, right on. Cool. So what I need for you guys to do is whoever is in the pilot seat, I need a piloting check.
Okay.
And first of all, let's set the scene. Like we get like the outside of the menagerie, like in sort of like, and in the background we see Marixa like behind you and whatnot, and then we kind of have a cut right into the bridge, and who all is on the bridge. Where's everybody at? Who's in the
So
the pilot seat?
is it flying already or are we about to take off?
You're flying, but you're currently kind of in orbit.
Okay.
You're sort of like orbital atmosphere. You haven't left just yet.
Okay, so Shess is, of course, in her lovely captain's chair.
Mm-hmm.
So AL is supposed to be driving.
So AL is driving. It is Big Al, and Big Al, has are we at a point where we're kind of cruising at this point? Like we've already like taken off, and we're kind of like it's not too much traffic, or are we at a point where like there has to be some sort of focus?
Well, I mean, you don't need a check to get around traffic per se necessarily. What I will need the check for is to go into drift drive.
Gotcha.
So to drop into drift.
So I'm trying to get an idea of what Alistair is doing right now. Or no,
Right.
it's sorry, Big Al. Big Al is doing. But like, so Big Al, we catch Big Al in the middle of a monologue. Is what happens.
Okay.
So he's like, they say money can't buy happiness, but those who have said that haven't spent much time on the menagerie. We've been chasing the glory days of yesteryear since we lost 2 of our members. Little did we know we were about to be hit with another hard truth. We may lose someone else soon.
Zed, Shess, what is your like reaction to like Big Al's like narration here that he's just completely unaware, seems to be oblivious that you can hear? Always has.
Like, yeah, I get him like, okay, cool story, bro. Fly the ship.
my little arm slaps my cranium.
Yeah, the sort of like face palm, but in your case, brain palm.
Yeah, but I have small arms, so I can't even reach the top of it. So I'm just like,
nice.
Just looks like kind of rubbing.
All right, yeah, I think
and then Big Al realizes that he's the one flying, and like he gets motion sickness and starts gagging.
Zed, I'm assuming you're at the science station.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Maybe you get that. Go ahead.
Checking the beeps and the boops.
All right, right. You get the sensors on, what have you. And I think you probably get a call up from the engine room at Crenville, and he's like, so we're prepped whenever you guys are ready to go to drift. Just don't blame me if the gravity's a little low when we hit drift drive.
I won't mind. He says they're ready to go.
Big Al, you got your bucket?
He like gives a thumbs up. It's just over the shoulder, just the thumbs up.
All right, so 16.
And he like bangs on the thing a little bit just to activate the the drive.
So let me try to figure out here what it was I needed to roll. Well, shit, it's always 1d6 days because it's Absalom Station. For whatever reason, it never takes more than 1d6 days to get to Absalom Station. Getting anywhere else, So it's going to take you 3 days. However, whatever you guys are doing while you're in drift, you will be. First of all, give me a description of what you guys do while you're in drift, because you don't have to always be at your stations, obviously. Like what is the general like sort of like montage look like with everybody?
Well, Jess is gonna go clean her clothes real quick because they feel kind of dirty. She's gonna go to her room, clean her clothes, and then come back and look all nice and shiny and professional.
All right, yeah. So Shess is doing her best to put the best foot forward there. What are Zed's sort of like activities sort of downtime thing going on?
Probably inspects my new gear, new flame pistol that I got, and the new armor. Make sure it's fitted right.
All right.
Maybe even try to adjust them to make them better used towards myself.
Yeah, sort of tweak the
Get
fit
comfortable.
And get comfortable. What is
Make sure all the packs ready.
right? Awesome. What does AL do with their time?
Yes. Anyway, so essentially, you said 3 days, right?
Mhm.
Correct. So
And you'll be interrupted about halfway through. So
Big Al, like after he gets out of the bathroom, he proceeds to kind of make a mess in his room. Like imagine like a bunch of papers all over his room, kind of like he's going through a case file that he's been building for a while, basically. But yeah.
so he's doing the whole detective, sort of with the like sort of like not paying attention to cleaning the surroundings in favor of like working on the case kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's like some vomit stains on a few pieces of papers here and there and stuff like
Right. Nice. So I think, and this is probably a thing with it, like you guys have whatever you guys are doing at this point in time, there is an alarm go off, and Naj probably appears in front of Shess, since she's the captain. Um,
Don't
is
forget,
is
it's a stuffed plush bear.
okay. So Naj is now taking the fort. You've now programmed Naj to look like a giant stuffed plush bear. Okay.
No. They changed it recently. It was like a session ago or two that we changed it to a plush bear.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Last I remember, it was a horse.
I go
So
to a dark place every time you say that.
that's wow. Moving on, as it were. Um, but whatever you guys are doing, there is and Naj probably appears in front of Chess specifically, and is like, I'm sorry to disturb you, but there is an intruder alert. There is an unknown presence in the cargo bay.
Alright, I pull out my gun and I zip up my suit and run
Mhm.
down to the cargo bay. Then make a little announcement. Alright, we need all hands to the cargo bay now.
All right.
I climb out of the bathroom as they run by.
Yeah, I think probably Shess, you probably run into Dr. Oglehop, who apparently has headphones on and he's listening to something. He is dressed as he normally is when he's around the ship, in his bathrobe and his, fucking slippers. Uh, Still has his gun and his biohacker kit on his side. Um, but he seems rather just like in his own world. He's relatively close to the cargo bay when you run into him too. He just seems to be wandering the hall for whatever reason. Um,
Hey, can you focus for a minute? We have a breach. We might
he
need you to heal people.
he does not seem to hear you. Still wearing his headphones. He's just
I'm gonna.
bebopping along.
I get a flashback of this one movie I saw, and I'm hesitant to remove the headphones. um, so as I'm going by, I might tap him on the shoulder and be like, "Hey, focus this way." You
And he
know,
turns around. As soon, you tap him on the shoulder, and he turns around and he looks at you. He's like, "Oh, hey, Captain. Did you know that there's exactly 37 37 marbles in the jar in the kitchen? I counted them."
why do we have marbles in the kitchen? That doesn't seem like a logical place to put. But it doesn't matter. Focus. We might need you in the cargo bay, dude. Let's go.
Oh, oh, right on. He just kind of like follows you. Um, as you all sort of arrive there, it's not immediately apparent who or what. It takes you a minute of searching. Everybody give me a perception check. We'll see. Whoever rolls the highest is probably the one that's going to find. Uh,
Nope. Nope. Big Al's detective senses aren't doing so great.
there's a actual somebody flopping flew. Oh, there he is. I got to roll for the NPCs as well. So first we'll do Crinville. Doesn't have a very good chance. And then we'll check Dr. Oglehop.
So far, he has the highest. Great.
So it's Dr. Oglehop, huh? Nice. Brilliant. That's perfect.
Oh hey.
I think Dr. Oglehop forgets what he's actually here for, and he actually starts digging around in some crates. He's like, "Hey man, like where did you put the fortunate trinkets?" And he's like, "I know we got some while we were on Marixa, but where are they?" And he kind of goes, and like maybe he goes, "Oh hey dude," and this is Chess. It's probably you that's like because he directly is talking about fortunate trinkets again and his cereal, and you're kind of like you look over almost probably to chastise him about like he's supposed to be looking for a person, and you see that he's not addressing any of you, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" He's standing on a crate, like with another crate open, and he kind of looks over between the crates, and he's like, "Hey, dude," and like goes back to like looking in the crate for his cereal. Um,
Hey, who are you? How'd you get on here? And why are you here?
so you walk around the to the other side of the crates, then.
Yeah,
All right.
gun drawn. Like,
So
I'm gonna shoot whoever snuck onto my plane.
eternity, you you wake up to the sounds of like people like rummaging around, and you're kind of trying to get your bearings. You kind of find yourself like you look to either side and they're like cargo crates, and at first you think you're in the car. At first, like you're not sure, like how did I get into the cargo bay? And you look up and there's a goblin standing up there in a bathrobe, a pair of slippers with an injector pistol on one side and a biohacker's kit on the other, and a pair of a pair of headphones that are sort of worn around his neck, playing some sort of weird, like, deep funk music of some sort. And he's just like, and he just sort of no sells the idea that he either doesn't know you, doesn't care, or he just sort of like, if he's on your ship, he's awful casual about it. If you're anywhere else, he's awful casual about you being there. Wherever you're at, he's casual about it. And when you guys round the corner, first we'll get a description of Eternity 9 so everybody knows kind of what they're looking at.
Yeah,
Um,
so Eternity 9 is an android, one who's very old and kind of rusted and broken. It's clear that Eternity 9 isn't very young. Um, he wears a second skin and largely unadorned, save for some what appeared to be some minor religious artifacts, like look sort of like prayer beads around his neck, as well as he carries a nice big laser rifle, and yeah, I believe that's it.
all right, so let's get some descriptions of the crew. We'll start with the captain because I feel like you're the first one to round the corner. What does Chess look like? What are you looking at there?
Okay, so it's the skinny looking chick, and she's got little antennas coming out of her head with blonde, like brown hair, I believe. But she's wearing this carbon suit that has like green lining all up and down it, and she has her pistol pointed out straight towards you.
All right, and who arrives next? Who comes around the corner next? Is it
I
Zed?
mean, he's pointing. He's pointing at me.
He's pointing at you.
Well, yeah,
It's AL.
Big Al. I know he's
L.
around the corner
Yeah.
next. I'm floating
Uh,
up probably around there, but
So
Okay,
let's
okay. So
let's get a description of AL.
so AL kind of looks like you got like a blue, like a dark blue trench coat, like blue hair, gray eyes. It's an it's clearly an android. The skin looks realistic, but like the eyes clearly like look lit up like an android, and like the joints all light up gray, basically. Um, like 5'2", not that tall. Um, like an androgynous body, but like essentially like looks like the you would probably characterize the character as a man just by the way he's holding himself right now. Just a really short guy. Um, and yeah, he like whenever like he has a hood every now and then that he puts up. He doesn't wear a fedora, but like when he puts it up and he's covering his face, you'll occasionally might see like smoke kind of come out of it. And that's pretty much it for when it comes to Big Al as a person. He has a weapon holstered underneath his trench coat. So yeah.
All right. And uh, Zed. Well, let's get a description of Zed.
Zed's floating kind of just behind Big Al. He's holstering two pistols on a very small body, probably about like a foot or so, like big. And then on top of that is a giant brain. It's just sitting there, and he's just floating off the ground, peeking. Peeking if he had eyes, so I mean, you see a
Yeah.
giant
So it's like the
cranium
image, like he sees like
here.
the short figure next to Chess, and then you kind of float in, like in, like
And the final individual that you see is he's a about a medium sized personage, clearly not human. Tiefling, you'd guess by the look of him. He's got blue skin. He's got horns. He's got like he's got like he doesn't have the hooved feet, but he does have like the tail and what have you.
hmm.
Um, and he does it. He keeps his weapon at his side, but he's got his hands up like he's ready to cast a spell. Uh, and and you are kind of like Chess comes around the corner asking who you are and what you're doing on her ship, and you have no idea.
Uh,
I'm gonna first things first. I'm still trying to get my own bearings. I'm gonna ask, who are you? Are you pirates? What are you doing on my ship?
This is not your ship, dude. Just so we're clear, this is our ship.
we're
Is
all lost souls come to the menagerie.
the menagerie? This isn't the fool's errand.
Might as well be called that.
Like, I think the Tiefling answers and goes, "Afraid not. Designation of this ship is the Menagerie."
Uh, I at this point I'm gonna put my hands up and say, well, then I have no idea what I'm doing here. I shouldn't be here.
The last you remember, you guys had just hit drift. The Fool's Errand had just hit drift, heading to the Marixa Republic
Gotcha.
from the
We
Pact Worlds.
we were just leaving the Pact Worlds, heading towards the Marixa Republic, and I find myself waking up in this strange cargo bay.
I think the Goblin looks at you and goes, "Oh man, dude, I know how you feel. Happens to me all the time."
I could tell that he was trouble from the first time I saw him.
Yeah, the the android in front of you just narrates like it just seems completely oblivious to the fact that he's doing
Yeah, just like it's just like yeah, it's normal.
it. No one else seems to react to it.
I definitely raise an eyebrow, and ask, are you narrating?
What? That'd be ridiculous. What are you talking about?
Ah, I see.
I
Well,
look at the others and like,
Don't worry, he has faulty wiring. It's okay. We just go along with it. He's got faulty wiring somewhere.
ah, well, I can certainly understand that. Faulty wiring is not something new to me.
Two androids to work on now.
Yeah. So you were attempting to leave the Pack Worlds and go to the Marixa.
Republic, correct, yes.
Okay, we just left there.
There must have been some sort of drift anomaly that forced me from my ship into yours.
Okay, were you the only one on that ship? On your
I I was not. I had I had a crew who appeared to not be here. As I glance around the cargo room looking for any other signs of my crew.
You don't see any of them. And now that you look around, it becomes very clear that this is not your cargo bay.
Yeah. Um, I'll still yell out, Gadget, are you there?
You
Anyone?
you get nothing but static.
Well, it appears then I am at your mercy.
So the Tiefling looks at you. So you didn't exactly answer the question. Who are you again?
My name is Eternity 9. I am the captain of the Fool's Errand.
not anymore, because apparently you got ejected from that ship. Now,
Yes,
I'm
evidently so. I hope whoever has this ship now will take good care of it.
well, that's all any captain can hope is that they take good care of their ship after they leave it. But
Indeed.
so what? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where to direct what were you trying to do? Why were you going to the Marixa? What was your initial reasoning for going there? Do you
Uh,
need to go there? What?
Sorry, I actually can't remember.
You
Just it's been
were
several weeks.
you were actually headed there because Jalen Star Whisper of the Paperleaf Tea Trading Company
That's right.
told you Tomic Frickson might have some work for you.
That's right.
Their
That's right.
their regional manager there.
I was being uh, I was being sent to the Marixa Republic as I was told there was work there. Um, it is not a
Who?
necessity for me to go there.
Who sent you there?
The Paperleaf Tea Trading Company.
Talk to a specific person because we've talked to a lot of people in the company.
Nope,
Uh,
that's cat fighting.
Sorry. One more time. Can you say their name?
You have talked to both Jalen Star Whisper, who
That's
is sort of like the representative and sort of head honcho in the pack world, and Tomic Frickson, who is sort of the regional manager
Mhm.
in the Marixa Republic.
I I was going under the direction of one Jolin. Are you familiar?
So we were on our way to go see her.
Well, then I suppose we will not be strangers. It is not a necessity for me to uh, go to the Marixa Republic. I was only going there in search of work. Having not been assigned there, I should be okay to head back to the station, I suppose.
Okay.
Another fly caught in a web on a tree, a tea tree.
Indeed.
Don't acknowledge it. It just exasperates and confuses him. Um, so what we'll do, we're going to the back worlds now to go talk to her. Um, what kind of skills do you have?
I am a mechanic. I work primarily on building and maintaining, well, mechanical devices. I kept my own ship in order, and should you need it, I can keep this one in order too.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I guess at this point you can go with Crinval, and Crinval can show you the ropes as we do the another day and a half before we get to the back world.
Yeah, I think, and Criminal just kind of looks at you in chest and then looks back at you, Attorney, and extends his hand and says, "My, I'm Criminal.
Hello.
That's what I am. The yeah." He's like,
May I have
so
the rest of your names, please?
Captain's chest.
It is good to meet you, Captain Chess.
Friends call me Big Al.
It is good to meet you, Big Al.
Yeah, don't keep that name associated with him throughout his entire lifetime. It changes. You'll get used to it. Just
Alrighty.
with it.
I have no idea what this man is talking about. Sorry, woman. Right. I keep forgetting you're a captain, you're a woman. It happens.
the
Don't worry. It's weird. Like I said, faulty wiring. Just roll with it. He can do his job. That's all that matters.
That is indeed what is most important.
Criminal kind of looks over and he's like, and the that one, and he points to the goblin, is Doctor Oglehop. He's a lot more competent than you might expect. He is, and he points over at the brain with the shriveled body, and is like, "That's Zed. He like, I'll show you the engine room. And I guess we'll have to figure out somewhere. We still have an empty quarter, one empty room around here. Have to pull some stuff to store it that Doctor Oglehop was storing in there out, but I'm sure he'll manage." Be like, and Dr. Oglehop, for his part, goes, "Oh, and stop by for your checkup later, 'cause everybody's got to get a checkup, right? So you don't have an apple, so you can't keep me away."
Lean over and tell him, "Don't do it." I didn't.
Good to know.
Well, you
Out of character.
temporarily
Sorry.
you temporarily had a biohacker on your ship, so you know that that's basically their checkup is just tuning you to their like kit so that they can
Yeah, that's true.
aid
Yes,
you in combat.
indeed.
Okay.
Out of character, just so we're on the same page, you had mentioned this was taking place before the Fire Strike campaign, right? And
Yes.
my campaign was taking place alongside the Fire Strike. It sounds like. So
Uh,
does that mean this is taking place before my campaign?
this is technically, I don't know that we necessarily set that exactly. No, you were pretty much on point with, but like I said, temporal and dimensional anomalies and stuff going on in the universe right now. So yeah,
Time
Travel.
paradox.
yeah. So you uh, essentially probably time traveled a little. Either
Oh,
that or they did.
um,
Somebody did some time
yeah,
traveling.
it dawns on me that I don't actually know what day or what the date is. I want to know how long I've been out. So I'm gonna ask, what is the current date?
Well, it is the year. What is it? 320 now, I believe. And it's probably, let me find it here because it's under game mastering would be time, I think. Setting. No, it's under setting. So it is probably the month of, as far as packed months go, I'm going to say it's probably Rova,
Alrighty,
which would
and
make it fall
how many months
in a
prior?
lot of worlds.
How
Huh?
many months prior to where the Fool's Errand is that?
Um, it's a few months. It's not
Okay,
like a ton of, but it's a few. I think I've trying to think. I think I said you guys were so Oliver Byrne joined, and it had been 6 months for him at that point. You guys were 2 months out, so it's 4 months behind.
gotcha. And this Requiem has made his appearance by this point, right? Or
Yes. Well,
okay,
Requiem has made his appearance. Not a lot of people like know about him. Like he's on you. Like you kind of have no way of knowing the context right here and now at this point
yeah.
as to like where or what. We'll have to find. We'll have to see.
Hmm.
Because you guys are in drift still.
I'm sorry. Did you say it was Rova? That's
Yeah.
that's simply not possible. It was
He,
just it was just whatever the month name in 4 months from now is.
which would be putting it technical.
Wouldn't that be like the Abduelus? Abduelus? However you say that.
No, it would be like trying to read that.
Recurring.
Desness? Yeah, Desness. Desness. Um,
I see.
yeah.
Yeah, impossible. It was just Desness of the same year.
Or no, actually,
Oh, Desness of the
the
year.
the Desness would be 4 months behind you.
Oh,
So
okay.
it would be 4 months ahead. I was looking at that wrong. So that would be actually We're going to establish this. We're going to establish it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on.
So it'd be
What
like
was it?
the Abaddis of the next
Would
year.
it?
Yeah, the Abaddis or whatever of the next year is where he would have been at.
Yeah, so it's like a year. It's not even the same year that you like last remember it being.
That's simply not possible. That would be a year prior to where I just was, or 4 months around then. Is that have I traveled in time?
Kid,
That even
it looks like
possible?
your head's been screwed on too tight. I think you need to have a rest.
Yeah,
Maybe
I say
so.
we go with the doctor and get checked over.
I I suppose that is the prescient matter then, I suppose. My databanks must be incorrect. I cannot think of any other possibility.
Yeah. Um, and I think that yeah, probably there's definitely like looking around the ship. Uh, Clearly, let's see. You guys had what, a tech lab and a general science lab, two cargo bays. They have a exploration buggy. They also have an what looks like an inner cycle in the final stages of being built.
Hmm.
Yeah, and as he's walking around, he's gonna see a giant stuffed bear walking around.
Yeah.
What on
Um,
earth is
my name is Naj. I am the ship's the ship's personal assistant computer. How may I help you today?
Ah, well, I am I am simply a visitor to this ship. It is good to meet you.
Yeah. It is good to meet you as well. You've seen virtual intelligences before, so this one just has a
Indeed.
holographic projector. This is one of those things that's still relatively newer technology.
I see.
So, but you know, it's kind of interesting that a ship like this would have one.
I'm gonna get close to it and whisper, "Are you here of your own free will?"
It's like it's like here is the cargo bay. The cargo bay is used to store weapons, vehicles, cargo used in transporting goods and services, and used for transporting all manner of goods. This ship is not currently transporting anything beyond its normal manifest.
I see. Alrighty. Well, it is
Yeah, it's
good to
that
meet
thing. It's that thing where it's like, oh, so the computer didn't understand the actual question and latched onto the closest thing it could translate.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting. Okay. So the computer isn't properly sentient. I
no,
see.
it's a virtual intelligence. It talks, it talks, and it interacts with you, but it's not going to be able to hold a lot of
Yeah, I imagine so.
yeah, it's not going to be able to feel anything or hold the same kind of level of conversation as a true AI.
Indeed.
So yeah,
Well, yeah. Then I suppose I will continue the tour, and I head towards the engine room in particular.
all right. Um, the engine room, looking at the power core, you can tell it's pulse green. Kind of looking at sort of like the stuff for the thrusters, you're guessing they'd have to be M6s and what have you. And he kind of goes over like some of the systems you like he where the shield like stuff is, all of the what have you for that. And he's kind of like, it'd be nice to have a little bit of a hand. I could maybe run a few diagnostics I've been meaning to get to. 'Cause,
Indeed.
whenever we go in and out of drift, the gravity plates get a little bit light. It's a compensation thing. Running it down is been trying to run the problem down for a few months. But this
Ah,
ship was cobbled together from several other ships, so not
I've had
everything works right.
I've had a similar issue with a problem on my ship. I understand.
Hmm. He's like, anyway, um, and after kind of showing you like the engine room and whatnot, he probably shows you like the bridge and the science lab and the tech lab. He goes, "This is a tech lab. Uh, put it to good use. We like to. We'll probably going to build a few. I've been working on machining up parts for that intercycle that you saw in the cargo bay. Used to be one of those goblin chunk cycles. Fucking menace, if you ask me. Anyway, I'm improving it.
I see. It definitely looks better than how I imagine it would be originally. I can certainly help you out if you would like.
It's a personal project.
I
Captain
see.
thinks the captain and the captain and the rest of the crew think it's punishment, but really it gives me something to do in my free time. Yeah, it can get a little boring in drift sometimes.
Of course, I understand.
But yeah, and he probably is like, oh yeah, and strange personalities here. The android, uh, several different personalities. You just have to figure those out for yourself.
I see.
Just bear with and roll with it. Uh,
Of
the uh,
course.
and the goblin, Dr. Oglehop, more competent than he looks, but yeah, he dips into his own medicinals a little much, if you know what I mean.
I see. Well, I have if there's one thing I've learned it is to not underestimate someone is in spite of their appearances.
Was- Other than that, pretty straightforward. Um, Zed's new. Don't know a lot about him. Likes to ask a lot of questions.
Lots.
He's just hanging over them. Lots.
Uh, he's like, Crenville just shrugged, like, it's not like I was trying to hide that from you. It's like, wow, you know my opinion. Yeah, that's kind of his response. It's like, he goes, anyway, I'm gonna recalibrate the coil gun. Haven't used it in a while, but always a good idea to have it in good working order. You never know.
Indeed. Well, in that case, I will go and fulfill my morning prayers.
Yeah.
Uh, and Eternity will split off in the engine room and find a quiet corner to do his rituals.
Deepen.
Well, I think the tour ended with the room that they set up for the empty room that they've got for you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You notice they have good crew quarters, so everybody has dormitory style rooms. You may have to share a
Except
bathroom with somebody, but
except the
you know,
papers everywhere, kind of overflowing out of one room, and
yeah, it's kind of like these slips of paper just like under the like door frame of Al's
If Jess
room.
ever walks by that room, she'll look in there and be like, "Hey, we need to keep it clean on the ship and not have shit bellow out in the halls, please."
the
And
back and forth would be after that he would reply, "Hold on, I'm on to something. I'm on to a big revelation on this case. I swear."
Fine, but you need to keep it contained into your own room. That's fine. But keep it contained in your room.
Nice. There's a, but yeah, you've got like another day and a half while you're in drift. But when you finally come out, you come out to Absalom Station. As promised, the gravity does get a little light when you come out of the drift. But you find yourselves gazing at. For whatever reason, the pilot seems to get sick when he's flying.
That is not a good. That is not a good trait for a pilot to have.
A lot of the people in their crew and on this ship don't have the right traits.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think there's at some point, probably there's some point while he's uh, Eternity 9, while he like at some point walks by and just like fucking hands you like hands you like a joint or something. It's like, hey, so like this is good stuff, man. You'll have to try it out. I mean, I know it's goblin ditchweed, but I crossbred it, man, with some stuff off of like Casterville, you know, so it's like extra potent.
I see. I appreciate the offer. However, I like to keep my systems clean.
Suit yourself, but it's all natural. And he looks at it, and his eyes grow wide for a second. He goes, "It's all mine." And he like puts it in his mouth, sparks it up, and continues walking down the hallway. Yeah, fucking. But yeah, you kind of like um. But Chess, Al, do you guys let the rest of the crew know when you're come out adrift, or is everybody sort of like on the bridge for the anticipation, or what's this look
If
like?
everybody's not on the bridge, there will be a public announcement. We have reached our destination. Prepare for deep work. What is the word I'm thinking?
Landing?
Prepare to get off the ship.
Disembark.
That word. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it doesn't take much for you to get the to dock up and or get get yourself docked and ready to like disembark and go out amongst the greater Absalom station, what have you. It's similar to what you remember. I mean, there are obviously a few changes, but because some things hadn't quite happened just yet, and some things had like. However, actually, but this is actually probably where we find out that it wasn't that you went back in time so much as the fire strike. God, I'm so stuck on Monday for whatever. The menagerie went forward in time.
Hmm.
Like maybe it's something that like once you like get within range of the infosphere, your internal like chronometers and calendars start being glitchy and weird.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a thing that Naj like probably lets Zed know about. Although doesn't necessarily use the holographic projection to, doesn't need to. Probably just feeds it through. Like you get the diagnostics just shunted up front about um, like the conflicting data from the infosphere versus your internal computers in regards to time and date.
This is a extremely odd phenomenon. Do I know how odd this actually is?
Um, so time travel is a thing that nobody's exactly cracked, not magically nor technologically. So this sort of thing pretty rare. It's not exactly an everyday occurrence.
Interesting.
Um, there have been a few reports here and there over the years, and maybe like one or two like recent reports, but some of those are like a lot. Some of those get discredited as like crackpots and conspiracy theory kind of stuff.
It is 4 months, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is my current time, and it is 4
Yes.
months ahead of. Okay, I understand. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, so I'd like to make an announcement to everybody. We're not going to go around and tell people that we traveled in time. Just to be clear. Um,
That's right, because we didn't travel through time. It's a conspiracy, I tell you. A
Um,
conspiracy.
yeah, we did. Um, but now we're 4 months. It took us 4 months to get here. Okay? From the last place we left, it took us 4 months. Hopefully, the recommendation from what's his face will still apply when we go talk to her.
Yeah. Um,
Oh, fuck.
Eternity, you actually know where her offices are. You've
Alrighty,
been there. You've been there. Recently, in fact. More recently than you thought, in fact.
yeah. Indeed. Uh,
Okay, so Jess is going to be like, well, we need to figure out where her office is so we can go talk to her.
I can take you there. I met her. Well, it seems to be only a few days ago now.
She's going to be uber confused. This will be fun. All right, lead the way, dude.
Alrighty,
So
and yeah.
I think
Sorry.
Big Al goes into his quarters to get something and comes back as someone else.
nice. I think I think Dr. Oglehop will stay behind simply because I mean he's playing video games. If
Well, he
we're
did
on it,
promote the big fat one, so probably a good idea.
yeah, yeah, he's not ready to deal with people yet.
So
um,
you see Allie run out. The trench coat now is like closed completely, kind of looks like a dress at this point, and you see two stuffed animals being dragged by the android and runs up the chest. It's like, crew is ready and waiting.
and
Oh, okay. You're going to carry those things around? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
keep the
I mean,
bear.
there are crew members, right?
Yes, I remember.
so you have your uh, your exploration buggy and the inner cycle.
How many people we taken, and I can't remember how much the exploration buggy holds.
The exploration buggy will hold 4 people, including the driver.
Okay. And we're taking. Is Crinville not going? Or not?
Kernville normally goes with these things.
Yeah, and this is directly tied to Isaac's interest, so he'd want to go.
Alright,
I mean,
Crinville, you take the cycle then.
yeah.
And then I'll drive the buggy.
This will be the
Well,
great unveiling of his cycle that
okay,
he's been working on.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the seating, I'll drive. Eternity, you're gonna sit up here up front with me, so you can tell me where to turn and where to go.
Alrighty.
And Allie will take the giant plush bear, place it on the seat, sit on the plush bear, and then kind of wedge the panther plush in the middle.
Nice.
There you go,
Cren-
shading. You'll be nice and safe here, and Ollie will save us right here.
Crenville just goes in and grabs the inner cycle, which he's like, needed a test run anyway.
Shall we
Yeah.
depart then?
Hey, I thought
Where
Oglehop was
go?
coming. Who are you?
Hello, my name is Eternity 9. What's your name?
Eternity 9. Uh, that, 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 uh, I'm gonna call you 9.
You may call me E9 if that's easier.
I like E9. E9's good. I like E9. My name is Allie.
Hello, Allie. It is good to meet you. You seem pretty young. How are you? How old are you?
Uh, I can't remember.
I
I
see.
just know that I'm happy to be here with my family and kind of like hugs the panther plush a little bit. You
I
get the
see.
sense that like the plushes are stand-ins for something.
Just gonna write notes on this interactions. Quite interesting, too, Anne. I love it.
Yeah,
I know what they mean, so I don't really care. She can have whatever she wants. All right, off we go.
yeah. So it doesn't take you very long to get to the sort of like Paperleaf Tea Trading Company like headquarters where Jolin is. When you get to the front desk, or actually, because they mostly have you come in through the like sort of warehouse cargo storage area is where they mostly had you come in through. But you come in and maybe like the person that's sort of working by the sort of working at sort of like check in for the employees or whatever sees you walk in and most of you they don't recognize because they've never met Chess or Al or Zed or Crinville. Eternity, however, you are recognized. And the guy is like, the guy behind the counter is like, and you've probably had an interaction with him before.
Hmm.
He's probably one of the people that's sort of like been an assistant that's shown you to where she's at or whatever. It's like,
Hmm.
wait a minute, you're back awful quick. Did you? I, they said you were heading out to the Marixa Republic. And he was like, and who are these people?
Indeed, I experienced something of a mishap during drift, and now I am with this new crew.
And Allie like is kind of like waving like the plushes like that we're here like in acknowledgement that we're being acknowledged.
He's like, uh, so what ship are you with? But he's
I
like,
I am with the ship known as the Ballad of the Menagerie.
well, the Menagerie is just the name of the ship. The
Or
ballad is,
sorry, excuse
yeah,
me,
yeah.
my bad. The Menagerie.
He's like, Menage? Wait a minute. He goes, hold on a second. And he kind of like stops for a second. He pulls out like a data slate and starts like scrolling through it. And he's like, and he kind of like punches into a couple of things. And then he sets the data pad down and like he does that thing where he like puts his finger on the pad and then like pulls it up or puts both fingers on the pad like
Hmm.
down kind of like together like that and then pulls them apart like that and a holographic like display of like names and stuff and he starts scrolling through them just sort of like and he goes, you people are awful late. Which one of you is Captain Murgle?
I do not I do not know of a Captain Murgle.
uh
The ca-
and he kind of
Chess,
like
that's your last
points
name.
oh,
points
okay.
to Chess, and I'm like, this
Oh, I
Shady
forgot
used
my
to
own.
be the captain until Captain Chess demoted him.
Uh,
I forgot my own last name.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's me.
Too much goblin ditch weed.
yep,
That's just me.
possibly.
Mhm.
Possibly. He's just like, it's like, you, there was regional manager, Mr. Frickson said that you were probably going to become visiting some 4 months ago.
Yeah, that was the initial plan when we left. We somehow got stuck in the drift area for 4 months and we're struggling to get out. Yeah, that's what.
What happened? Problems with the drift drive?
I'm guessing. We haven't pinpointed what it was. We spent most of it trying to get out.
There's nothing wrong with our ship.
Shh, quiet.
I do want to hypothesize why that happened when we get back. Go through the
Yeah, but
entire like
like
ship's
remember this
logs.
entire time jump, Allie wasn't around.
Right. Well, Allie would know that it's now like the dates on the computer showing that it's 4 months from the last time she knew.
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, let me call up real quick. Just give me a minute. He's like, kind of like taps around, like he kind of like calls. I takes a moment and like goes off to the side. You can barely hear like the conversation. Like, yeah, no, sure, no, I got you. No, really? Are you certain? Fine. Okay. All right. And he kind of turns around and he's like, he kind of turns around and goes, well, he goes, she's a little, she just got back from, she just got back from a business trip. Would you, I'll show you up. And he kind of like, he looked a little like, he's got that look on his face like, really? Fine. Okay. Just like, but you get up to the when you get up to the office, Jolyn is standing there, just as she normally is, dressed dressed very well, like very smart business suit that you're fairly well, you're fairly certain is armored. Um,
Oh, that looks pretty.
and she's just like, it's like you when you enter, she starts to say something, and then she sees Eternity, and she's like, "What are you doing back already?"
Well, there was a an incident with the Fool's Errand during Drift, um, and I ended up on another ship entirely.
That's very interesting, and we'll have to she's like, that's been the sort of thing has been happening a bit lately. Well,
Indeed, indeed.
no, it's been happening. There is
Why?
oh we the scholars are all looking into it. There's a group of mystics that think that there's some old prophecy that they perhaps missed. And, well, there are a number of psychotherapists who believe that this is all in the head. It's some sort of mass delusion, perhaps tied to some sort of disease or whatever. There are several leading theories. I do believe there are at least one or two people who have a much more advanced look into what all of this might be. Needless to say, I can't tell you exactly for certain, but there's a lot going on here. I believe that this is temporal energies, but the and perhaps dimensional. I have it on good authority that this may be the case. However, the experts, the Pact Worlds, have hired the Vescariums. Even the Vescarium's witch warpers are a bit confused as to what's going on. But if you say that you have been transferred somehow in the drift from one ship to another, I'll take that at face for the time being. Perhaps I'll have
Indeed.
a few questions for you at some later time.
Of
And to give
course.
the rest of you a description, Jolin Star Whisper is an elf woman with long dark hair. Um, she looks very, very, very professional. She looks like a businesswoman. Um, but she does have a bit of a warm demeanor to some extent, although a bit professional. If any of you would like to make any sense motives during your interaction with her, you are feel free to. As a matter of fact, actually, everybody kind of makes sense motives. Eternity 9, you don't necessarily need to because you've sort of like you and the Fool's Errand have already met her and
Hmm.
kind of picked up on a few things, as much as you're going to anyway.
Yeah.
Mm,
So that's chess. Oh, hey, Al, nice. Allie picked up on something. Zed, not so much. Um, and I guess I'll make one for Crinwell as well here, since he is there. Crinwell! See what he picks up on. Alright. So, Allie and probably Crinville as well pick up on this. The accent. It's a very refined accent and speaks of a like background being brought up with a probably a more well-off family. However, there are some cuts and turns here and there where there's turns of phrases and just a hint of a more street accent that hints that the whole thing is a facade. However, you rolled incredibly well, Allie. This too is a facade. The as near as you can tell, the more refined accent is probably more authentic, and she probably adds the little hints of street to see if you would pick up you or anybody in the room picks up on it and would like there's a bit of an act there. Like the veil is like a twofold veil. It's a it's a point counterpoint. And the moment that you realize that and that the accent is a double-edged like test, you real or is a double-edged like sort of like veil. You realize in that same moment it's a test because she sees the recognition light up in your eyes and go and recognition light up in your eyes and say, and she's like, and she just smiles at you and moves on with the conversation. She goes, "I'm to understand that you're here to petition for a bit of business arrangement on behalf of Isaac, crime lord. Of some note, I've done my research.
Yes.
Mr. Frickson tells me that you've helped him open some negotiations with Patella.
Yes, we did. We helped rebuild some stuff too.
Here is my Here is my counterproposal and my thought process. I'm amenable to this, after all. The Commodore Zai, King Zai, as he is, his formal title is. Well, he's a very interesting and unique individual in his story and how he came up and everything that was around him. So it's in my best interest, well, in the company's best interest, really, to keep an eye on and do business with. However, it's not in our best interests to be seen doing such. This would have presented a bit of a problem, except for the fact that I've already advised Frickson about a few things, and well, we've acquired a former rival company to act as a bit of a go-between. The Corvassian Condor Unlimited. Well, They've had several changes in management, and at this point, the change in ownership has become a bit of a complex matter. Needless to say, we now own them, and we're not entirely concerned about them continuing to do business in the Marixa Republic or in the Pact Worlds. It's a company that we're well keen to have doing the business for us, the intermediary, if you will. But there are a few interesting problems that spring up with our most recent acquisition. A few bits of old business we'll have to have cleared out, and we're needing a bit of some folks of an entrepreneurial bent. And my understanding is the Menagerie is looking to expand their repertoire. At least that's what your friend Greenfellow tells us.
Yes.
Well, it just so happens that one of the holdings that the Corvassian Condor had, a space station, is it's been under attack. And Eternity, this will be the second time we've sent you to a station, but this time we'll be asking for a bit more of an aggressive role. And mind you, keep company secrets as they are. But we'll need the station back. Raffenden
Alright.
Station with Dr. Tallet was more than willing to let that one fall into other hands as long as the information there was secure. We want the station back.
I see.
We're not entirely certain who attacked it, but since no one has claimed responsibility as yet, but I would be prepared for a fight.
Of course.
Mostly, they only had a few. They had a managerial staff, a logistical staff, and a very small contingent of security relative to what I would have put there. But when you buy a company, you clean up the messes that are left behind by those who clearly were not as savvy on their business. We'll consider that we're doing the Paperleaf Tea Trading Company to be, or at least the Corvassian Condor Limited, to be in business with Patella, and I'm willing to pay a little bit of extra money on the top of this for taking care of some unpleasant business. How does, and I hate to offer quite so low, normally I offer quite a bit better than this, but 5,000 credits with an extra 3,000, 8,000 total, 3,000 up front, 5,000 upon completion of the job. Buying an entirely new company, while a wonderful prospect and a great way to expand your business while eliminating competition, costs a bit of money. So I'm afraid my reserves are quite, at least for this month, are a little less than I would hope for.
Oh no, Your Highness, we'll do it for honor, and we'll bring the people back.
Shush!
What? What?
You have to pay
What?
for things. That
But
Money.
cost will be acceptable, and we'll do it.
It's like, she goes, good. Hopefully this will be the start of a good relationship. After all, Thobus Greenfellow seems to like you, and if the personal lawyer for Captain Volvetto and his crew likes you, then I like you. Says, "Is there anything I might Is there any? Would you require any refreshments before you leave? I'll have someone bring something up."
Yes, please. Shady, you're embarrassing us. You said she was a queen.
And she kind of smiles. She's like, she's like, "Captain Margle." And she goes, "It's a pleasure to finally meet you and have our first business arrangement." And she extends a hand.
Yeah, she takes it and shakes it firmly. Yeah, this will be cool.
She she probably shakes everybody's hands who's willing.
Mhm.
Um,
Uh,
What about the
as
stuffed
as
animals?
as I shake hers. Oh, sorry. Uh, as
What about those stuffed animals? I gotta know.
as I shake her hand, I'm gonna ask, as a personal favor, could you let me know if you ever get in contact with the Fool's Errand again?
I will absolutely do so. And she says, "I would She's like, "I'm just as interested to know where they are as you are. After all,
Indeed,
you and your
I
friend,
appreciate it.
you and your friends have already provided a great deal of value, and I hate to lose anything that provides any sort of value or good or any sort of professional services." She nods and she's like, "I'm afraid I'll have to. I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave. I've got an appointment here in about 2 hours. Representatives of the Aspis Consortium. I
I
do
see.
not like dealing with them, but sometimes it's necessary." And I think she kind of like takes her leave at this point. Their
So,
refreshments are brought up to you, like, um, and the assistant eventually comes and it's like, "You you guys prepared to head out?"
Well, yeah, as soon as we get research, figure out where the station's at, and figure out our next destination on where we're going to
Because
take the station.
he's like, "Well, lucky for you, that's part of my job." And he hands you like or he's like, "First, I'm gonna need your number. Actually, you know what? I could probably just send it to Eternity. Although, probably should have your number anyway."
Yeah, I give him mine.
Yeah, and he sends you the relevant details. The space station in question is um, actually located about 2 systems away from Patella. So it's still in the Tabori cluster, but it's about 2 systems away from where Patella is.
Interesting.
you guys, you're embarrassing me talking to the stuffed animals. First, you don't talk to her, and then you're spilling it all over the floor. I'll
Um,
clean you guys up.
Eternity, for your reference,
Mm-hmm.
um, Requiem is no longer on the station. They have moved.
Okay.
Um, in fact, there's probably a report like it's on you probably find on a local news report something about like the Absalom, like a number of the businesses on Absalom Station have petitioned the petition like the powers that be, that Requiem has been something of a um, nuisance, that he's
Mhm.
disruptive to business, and that you know. So in response, he and a number of his followers left, um, cryptically making cryptic references to the future.
I see. Very interesting.
Hmm.
Do I know where he went?
Nope, nobody knows where he went just now.
Gotcha.
But
I will
there's a
bear
lot
that.
of speculation. There are some people who speculate he went to Octurne, but that's probably because anytime anybody is deemed crazy by the overall society, they assume they just sort of go to Octurne. Because a lot of people who are deemed crazy by the rest of society do go to Octurne,
I see.
where they, you know, engage in their conspiracy theories and, their evil plots to overthrow whatever they're trying to overthrow.
I see. So I imagine we're heading back to the ship around this time.
Yeah.
You're on Absalom Station. You can do that, or you can go, uh, do other things on Absalom Station. There's
Get
plenty of
We did
shopping.
get
places.
3,000 in advance, yeah.
Yes,
So
you get the advance of 3,000, so you guys can buy things while you're here, or transfer, or turn it all into UPBs, or turn some portion of it into UPBs for purposes of building and what have you in your tech lab.
Shes, did you have anything to say to Allie about about that little encounter with the money situation?
Yeah, I'll be like, well, she said it at the time. It's like, you do realize we can't do things for free. We have a ship
But
to maintain.
but she's like royalty. Like shouldn't we like do stuff like for free in exchange for like favors?
Yeah,
No.
but
Uh,
favors aren't going to fuel the ship. They're not going to repair the ship. You know, actual credits we can use to repair something that gets blown off by the shaky re-entry. You know, um, credits are the only thing that's going to actually fix things. So doing jobs that we actually get paid for means we can maintain our ship.
Right, but if she has connections to people that could help us, then like I mean, why is money an object at this point?
Allie, you, you may not know this, but as an android, you must never do anything for free. That's how they control you.
ooh, got deep.
Did it did? I love it.
It
And
got into
like
the
We'll
Allie,
go with his
state.
Allie's just
point.
like,
We'll go with his point. No, he makes a valid point.
whatever. I'm telling you, she's royalty.
Grenville's
You-
just shaking his head. He's not even engaging in this at all. Conversation at all. Like by this point, he's probably about halfway. Like he's probably gone off to the kitchen at this point, to the mess hall to get something to eat.
But somebody's status doesn't change the fact that we still need to do jobs and get paid, dude. I mean, I don't understand the importance of. Yes, she's royalty and in charge of a big company.
Means she can reward us more.
Yeah, without not just money, like a headquarters,
I know, but
like
this
a
is a step.
clubhouse. You know,
We haven't established ourselves with her yet. This is our first job with, well, us. I don't know about eternity over here. Apparently, they got a long history. But for us, this is our first interaction with her. So we have to start at the bottom and work our way up. You can't just jump to the top and be like, oh, yeah, let's do favors.
Indeed, you must not let yourself become exploited in your first impression, lest they may confuse uh, that in terms of loyalty and assume you will continue to work for free.
I think you dishonor the lady by presenting an offer for money, like lowly money, like seriously, guys, like
I understand, but In this shameful system of capitalism we live under, we need money to survive, and unfortunately, survival is the most important aspect, more than anything else.
Okay.
I I understand your woes, Ali. Soon there will be a place where we can go and not have to, where you and I can go and not have to live under these burdens. But that place does not exist as of yet.
You mean like a
Xander.
clubhouse?
Xander will work on that for you.
You mean like a
Yes,
clubhouse?
a clubhouse for all androids.
Where I can have tea time?
You can have tea time.
You hear that, Oglehov? I'm gonna have a place with tea time, and I'm gonna have all the glasses with funny colors in it.
I think Dr. Oglehop goes, "Oh, tea time. It reminds me of a story like I was out on the greens and I didn't have a driver. I had a wedge. And I don't even know what a wedge does. I don't even know how to play golf. Why was I playing golf? Weird."
God damn it!
Oh no.
It, Eternity chuckles. Uh, I see you appreciate the humor in a pun.
He's like, hey, he just kind of goes, "Oh yeah, like puns are awesome." And he just kind of like looks at you like he's expecting you to like say some sort of pun. Like,
I'm sorry. Were you expecting some sort of punchline?
what were we just
Ha
talking about?
ha ha. Oh, oof. Ah.
uh, yeah.
I'm
Um,
gonna go clean up our crew members. They're a mess. Excuse me. And
yeah.
drags the stuffed plushes away.
So you are here and you have a good deal of, you've got some credits in your pocket. Um, there is a boards here. Um, Eternity knows he's been there.
Mhm.
um, there are, in addition to the boards, there are plenty of other drinking establishments, and there are plenty of other kinds of businesses around, or sites to see, or things to do. There's probably like a couple of like probably a couple of shows you could catch if you were looking to catch a show.
So it's like Eternity giving us like a tour of the place then.
Yeah, I imagine so. Just showing you a few places where you might be interested to hang out at.
Might I go find these mystics that be telling the future?
I'm not. I'm not familiar with these mystics. I'm sure if we access a terminal, we can find them, but I don't know how easy it will be to gain a meeting with these apparently oh so powerful beings.
Which mystics predicting the future are you talking about?
Thought,
Were you,
thought you said something about there was a well,
yes, Requiem.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah.
that's what you mean. Okay, I see what you mean. Yes, we know not where Requiem resides at the moment. Uh, I hope to find him as soon as possible and join his ranks. You
Oh,
guys,
you can't leave E9. You just got here.
my utmost loyalty is toward android kind. However, in the meantime, I will reside with the Menagerie.
You hear that? You hear that, Shady? He's staying with us.
Okay, so I'm thinking, we could chill out here for a couple days, people to relax, get their head straight from time travel.
So, if a couple days does pass, I'll I have a few things that I want to get done. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys you're gonna stay a couple of days, that's a thing that's doable.
Want to diagnose the ship?
Yeah, you can do that too. That's a thing. Being are you running diagnostics on any particular system, or
Um,
just
all
like
the systems that were engaged while drive was engaged.
I see. Right
Want
on.
to see what's happening with that phenomenon.
So you get some weird readings from the sensor logs, like just like right before E9 showed up, like the sensors just go absolutely haywire. In fact, there's a record of the sensors like detecting and scanning a planet that you guys mm, have never been to, and it should not during a period of time. During that period of time, like there's just like a shadow hint of information. Like at first you're about ready to dismiss it as anomalous, and then you realize that the data fragment is way too cohesive, and it does not look like your sensors obviously recorded this phenomena, and it shows that your sensors, like did everything. However, you didn't add any inputs for it to do that, and it wasn't part of um, and not to mention, when Eternity 9 showed up, as far as you guys know, you didn't drop out adrift. And there weren't any planets or planetoids near your path at that particular point.
But we scanned a planet in between there.
Yep.
Um,
It was like a
so
five
there's
second
a
scan.
planet stuck in drift.
Yeah. Five
Where to look.
second, yep, 5 second scan of a planet that you never saw, you never set up a scan for, and shouldn't have even been there.
Very interesting.
Next
Yes,
thing I want to look at real quick. Crew log. Is there anybody missing from our crew?
From your crew? No. Your crew, uh, however, going back into your crew logs, there are a couple of names that are back there from like pretty much original registry and whatnot that you know were there before but aren't.
Interesting.
For example, um, the there seems to have been a dragonkin that was a part of the crew at some point that no longer exists.
He wasn't on the ship while I was on.
Nope,
Okay.
He wasn't on the ship for the original crew of the Menagerie either.
nope,
Yet
He
it's
was a
just
part of the group, though.
the
yep,
information on the computer is blipped out of it.
yep.
Well, let's look at the memory banks, see if there's any damage, any faults.
The memory banks themselves do not show any damage. They show anomalies, yeah, anomalous like information. In fact, they show contradictory information at times. Um, and it's weird because there are some of these things that like maybe like AL or Chess who've been on the ship for quite a since for the longest would probably know are absolute falsehoods that know from personal experience that we're never at Octurne during that we were in a completely different system during that time frame that it's showing that we were on Octurne. We never went to the Shadari Confederacy. Why do we have like messages from why do we have like incoming traffic messages from the Shadari Confederacy? Who is this person that we've never met that it's showing that we had some business arrangement with?
Okay, so need to call everybody in and gather their attention to this information, especially Eternity.
Hmm.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So what is
I
what?
want to ask
Yeah.
him, hey, so does any of this information look familiar? It's off of
And
your ship.
I imagine it doesn't, right?
No, there is not necessarily. There is a weird fragment that there is a weird there. Most of it is completely unidentifiable. There is one weird fragment that seems to come from like your past,
Hmm. Very interesting. Okay.
but
Uh.
it's a very small data fragment
Mhm. I'm
and
going.
it's mostly
Yeah.
corrupted.
I'm going to mention that this this small data fragment appears to come from something in my own past. However, the rest of it I find unintelligible. Whatever the
Oh,
case may be, this must be the will of Requiem.
most interesting thing is
Indeed.
there was a planet scanned for 5 seconds in the middle of the drift before we collected you.
Hmm.
It's like a planet stuck in drift.
Uh, can I check and see if the time of scan is roughly or is the relationship between the time of the scan happening and the time that I was noticed as a passenger aboard the ship, like to see if they happened at the same time.
Oh, they all happen within a very brief period of time where the
Okay,
sensors go off the roof with like all kinds of different readings.
gotcha. Okay, yeah, I see. It makes sense.
Hmm.
This must be the moment of time travel. As we passed through the time barrier, we must have breached uh, drift at some point, where the automated systems might have squeaked out a scam. Alternatively, um, maybe there's an issue affecting your memory, in which you did initiate this scan at some point during the last 4 months, um, but you simply don't remember it.
Hmm, interesting. That we just don't remember the time that we were in the drift or a time that we left the drift and then got back into it.
Indeed,
So
it is.
it's a 4 month period that we could have done a bunch of different things if we haven't traveled
We
from.
didn't travel in time, we just forgot.
Well, I cannot speak either way. It is entirely possible that you did in fact travel through time. I simply bring this up as another possibility.
Time travel? Careful where you step, you might change the timeline.
We're in the future. We went into the future, dude. Chill.
Be all right.
If we went to the past, I'd give you more merit, but
I do believe we need to thoroughly inspect planet scheme. I feel like that planet has more answers.
Indeed, I would agree.
All right. Um,
Most important part, there was no planet along the drift segment, correct? There wasn't like planets we passed,
not
planetoids.
not where you were, not where you were traveling. I mean,
Hey,
there is alluvion that exists within the drift, but it's usually only found by people who got lost or people who paid really good money to somebody who just happened to know the actual way to get there.
so while they were analyzing, like I had reprogrammed Naj. The hologram now is a adorable dinosaur at this point.
Nice. And just every so often, the holographic projection of Naj is just something different.
Every
Not
time I
Naj.
being the
see
good
every time I
dinosaur.
see Naj change, I'm just gonna freak out for a second, then look around, hope no one saw that, and move on.
Yeah,
Hey,
just
Naj.
get me a glass of milk, Naj. Just a little bit. Whatever.
Naj can do that.
Naj, did you notice anything funny while we were traveling?
I'm sorry, that answer does not make any sense.
I mean, did we do a lot of stuff?
I'm sorry, that question is not on file.
Do you have a record of happenings within the last 4 months between the periods of sorry, can you remind me of the months again?
Um,
It's
Rova
n-
to
Rova and
this, a Battis.
I want to say it started with a D.
no, that was the other one. That was the
Oh,
wrong
okay,
one.
I see.
No, it's like a Battius.
My bad.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh, did you happen to notice anything, or do you happen to have a record of happenings in between the times of Rova and Battis?
Information not available. File found, not found. Just kidding. And then there's just like silence.
is Naj like smiling after that? Just
Yeah,
standing there and smiling.
yeah, yeah. Just,
When you
Awkward.
do, does this mean you do have the file?
it's like you get no further response on the subject.
Hmm.
We're gonna need this
Uh,
file.
Naj may have been compromised here.
I mean,
Naj,
how can I
are
assist you?
are you are you messing with us? She starts like bringing out the controls and starts going through the
Yeah,
files herself to see like if anything seems amiss like from what she's been messing with.
yeah. Naj is like I am incapable of messing with you. I am not programmed to do that.
Are you programmed to kid, to joke?
Practical jokes and kidding are not a part of my original programming.
Your original programming? What about your current programming?
Our program allows me to tell knock knock jokes.
I don't remember adding that.
Interesting.
You specifically, but the one of you.
So,
More problems.
does this mean when you were reading the file that I brought up earlier that it said within the file, just kidding? Or have you been compromised by an outside source?
I'm sorry. No compromise detected.
Hmm.
Just smiling, shitting and grin the
Yep.
entire time.
Oh yeah. Well, it doesn't exactly have emotions, and it's programmed to be like a friendly interface. So, like the default settings give it a friendly voice, and it smiles.
Um, Allie, may I please have access to this ship's computer systems?
You're not gonna hurt him, are you?
Of course not. I would simply wish to inspect the files. I will not change anything.
Okay.
Um,
Begrudgingly hands the controls over.
can I make a computers check to see if I can't find that missing file?
Please do. What you find um, is that other than the occasional data fragment that you mine up, getting a cohesive picture is impossible. The computer refuses to respond to inquiries having to do with um, uh, having to do with like a number of like the questions you have surrounding it. Either they're incapable or in either it's incapable or incomprehensible. You get like one coded message back that is an error code, but it's a encrypted error code. So you end up spending like you several end up spending like an hour encrypting or decrypting a code that just simply says error message. This is error alert. The more you try to dig into like the files of what happened, the more the computer seems to get like the more the computer seems to get like completely wide of the topic. The less
Avoiding the
yeah,
subject.
exactly. The information you get starts becoming less and less relevant the more you dig.
I'm going to say to the crew, we cannot trust the ship's computers from now on. We must
However,
assume. Oh, sorry.
However, every other function that that the computer does take care of works perfectly.
I see.
Just trying to get information about what happened during the incident in the drift, there's something evasive about it.
This is a very serious problem.
Indeed,
Wait,
must not trust the computer systems available to us on the ship.
Not wholly.
We must assume that they have been compromised, either by an outside sentient force or by sheer uh, physical power.
Naj would never do that. Besides,
Of
I
course
think he's
not.
trying to tell us something and points to the scan of the planet.
Of course, you may be right.
What information is from on that scan?
It's the like most basic surveying stuff, and you don't even have survey sensors. Like you have the sensors you have. The sensor readings you get are the kinds of sensor readings you would expect to get if you'd gone and gotten the full sensor, bay, the surveying sensors. But what it really seems to stand out about it is that this planet in question, um, it reads a decent amount of like natural resources, some life forms. There is some reading on what the weather was on this planet at the time that it was scanned. Um, and it's, but it doesn't have, it's all like physical data. It doesn't have anything like it doesn't have anything like what the life forms were they intelligent, did they have a social structure? None of that is there. Um,
Uh, do
there
the
does,
sensor
however, there does, however, seem to be in various spots remnants of some civilization that no longer exists there.
I see.
Okay.
Do these sensor readings match sensor readings that the Fool's Errand could have possibly made?
I forget, did you guys get survey sensors with the Fool's
Sorry,
Errand?
what?
I'm sorry, did you get the survey sensors with the Fool's Errands? I don't
I
think you did.
don't remember. I don't think so.
No, this is like high end. This is the stuff that you
Gotcha.
would get if you'd had like a specialized bay full of survey sensors.
So then it becomes clear that this is not our scan, nor was this a scan of the Fool's Errand. This must have been transmitted to us somehow. I wonder if whatever transmission gave us this scan also corrupted Naj's data.
I have a feeling the answer is on that planet.
I would agree.
I think that whatever's on that planet, it corrupted the ship, and then either corrupted our minds, or possibly put us into the future.
And I wonder if it's related to how I got onto this ship.
I have a hypothesis of that. Um, I am slightly curious about crew. I don't know if they might even be alive anymore.
I can only hope.
Well, look, my question is, why did we only get you?
Indeed.
If it was something phenomenal, a normal phenomenon, we would have gotten you and anybody around you.
Indeed.
But why just you?
That is the question.
You weren't injured, so that's a good sign. Just that we can tell.
I my my biggest guess is that while we were on the way to the Marixa Republic and you were on the way away from the Marixa Republic, perhaps our ships had a collision in the drift or a very close encounter in the drift.
Paralyzation became parallel to a point where you
I- Indeed.
phased over. Just
That
don't see that being possible with us being alive still.
indeed.
Truly interesting.
The thing because of all of this seemingly impossible as a natural phenomena, this makes me wonder if this was not a natural phenomena and instead something done intentionally.
Dr. Oglehop walks by and goes, he's just like, it's like, in my opinion, I think it was magical in nature. I mean, right? The
That's what I'm.
universe, magic, like, and he looked over at you, Shasta, and I was like, I mean, like, about, like, the universe, like, strange things happen.
So, by the way, out of game, Eternity, are you saying that Big Al was right about conspiracy?
I mean, maybe.
So you said you don't know where the Mystics are, right?
Yes, I'm unfamiliar with the current location of Requiem.
Well, what if Requiem is on this planet?
That is a possibility I had not considered. This is
I have a
something we
feeling
should
that they are tied.
indeed we should definitely investigate this planet. It's at this
We have
point
a
I want to
current
try and
mission.
sorry.
We have a current mission though.
This is true. This is true. We should complete our current mission, and then hopefully this will give us time to better analyze and inspect this data and give us more insight into what we're actually looking at. Ideally, we can try and access some planetary database and to match the physical characteristics of this planet to some such planet in the database.
Yes.
Naj, are you feeling all right? You look sick. Like just like looking at the corrupted files and stuff.
No, I think Naj is like, I feel perfectly fine. Wait, and just like, in a manner of speaking,
And what manner would that be?
the manner that you, the manner that, organic beings speak in,
I see.
which
In
does
that
technically also include both you and Al, because both of you guys are part, biological.
mhm.
Mhm.
uh, Now that would seem to imply that whatever is corrupting your data is not a virus, as a virus is what could make an organic being sick. Very interesting information here.
It's a very, yeah, it's like, that is a very interesting theory. Hmm. And then starts cataloging, then it starts cataloging various theories about the connectivity between computer viruses and organic viruses. So Yeah, and I think you guys have a mission, and we are at 2 o'clock. So I think we're going to go ahead and start wrapping up. So everybody can send me your Player's Choice Awards. Who Player's Choice being whoever's playing added the most to the game for you tonight. Whether it's was a fun moment with Allie, or whether it was Chess taking control of a situation, or Zed or Eternity, sort of analyzing the situation and hypothesizing. And we'll go ahead and get started with sign offs. And I think, so you know how it's done, we'll start with probably the person who has the most experience of all of you. We'll start with our captain, Chess. Psychopathic. Why don't you go ahead and start us off with the sign offs while everybody sends me private messages with your voice. Oh, looks like I got them. Sweet. So go ahead.
Okay, so I'm Scott. I played chess, being captain, being weird time travel thingy, whatever. But we still have a mission that we need to accomplish. Delegation of communications between different systems, and that's our main mission. Eventually, we'll get to the other stuff. Just patience. Um. Okay. What's today's Friday? Oh, other games I'm in. Every other Saturday we do Bitter Ends, which is the apocalypse world, in the water wave world water session thing. Where I play Castiel, Daddy Castiel per se. He got one person to stop drinking for 2 days that apparently likes to drink a lot. It's a step closer. That's all he cares. Then on Sunday I'm in Cosmos, uh, where I play Fagara, who has made a little foresty, gardeny area in the castle, and then went out and shot a bunch of ghost people. That was fun. And then on Monday, I'm in the Fire Strike where I play Xander, who is out doing research for the Sifter to figure out to find the codes to properly use it and whatnot, and he's waiting for his access to the library. And then on Wednesday, I play Knight and Hinch to Minch, who is happily glad to be back on Earth. I don't like space travel, and it was too long to not be invisible, so he's spending the next week being completely invisible and whatnot and doing all his work invisible. And then every other Thursday, we have a game that's Fast Cars Clear Gyms, where I play Mikey, where I dug up a lot of dirt on a lot of people and made notes. I know a lot of information now that not everybody else knows. And I'm having fun with that.
Nice.
And that was Thursday. Now we're on Friday. Yay, we're back in the full circle. Yay. That's everything for me.
Awesome. Now you can send me your Player's Choice Award, and Big Al could go next.
Hey, this is Alistair. I wasn't in this one, but you can catch JJW on Twitter at JJW Voice. You can also catch me on Facebook at Rogue Gray Fox. And I do various stuff like voice acting practice with a couple of my friends who are also voice actors on Mondays. Every Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can also catch me here every Friday for the Ballad of the Menagerie as AL, veritable, melting pot of ideas.
Would you say
Anyway,
would you say AL is a cornucopia of personalities?
yes, yes, indeed. So, other than that, uh, uh yeah, just Rogue Gray Fox, JGW, whichever one you want to look me up on. Say hi.
All right, we'll kick it along to Captain Revenge.
It's Zed Arrow or Captain Revenge. I play Zed Arrow here every Friday night. Other times I do video game reviews and just playthroughs. Look me up on YouTube or Twitch at Captain Revenge. That's CaptinReveng. Like an illiterate. And that's me.
Awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who may not have figured this out, we have added a new member to the cast. And Chivalrous, why don't you tell us who you are and where we can find you and what you do?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Varun, also known as Chivalrous, and I play Eternity 9. I'm brand new to this campaign. Uh, Looking forward to working with this crew every Friday. Um, and you can find me on Twitter at chivalrous underscore, where I'll mostly be tweeting about comic books and things not related to this campaign, but I'm still an interesting person, I promise.
Right on. Well, that brings it back to me. We'll get the bookkeeping out of the way first. Everybody give yourselves 150 XP. You know what? Scratch that. Make it 200. And and tonight's Player's Choice Award goes to AL. Big Al slash Alley.
Damn.
Give yourself another 75 experience points
Alright,
for the Player's Choice Award. And with that said, I am the Just a King Zerat. You can catch me here on Monday nights for the Fire Strike, my favorite group of space pirates, space terrorists, and never do wells. You can catch me here every other Thursday for Fast Cars Clear Gyms, where I play Khan, whose motto happens to be never commit a crime that you don't frame somebody else for. Or for Fridays for the Ballad of the Menagerie, which is also set in the same universe as the Fire Strike and takes on a lot of the crazy odd jobs that the bigger guys can't get to because they're busy dealing with like massive issues. Um, or you can catch me here every other Saturday for the Bitter Ends, our Wave World sessions. It's kind of like the Water World with significantly less misogyny and significantly more crazy and mismatched characters. It's weird, it's odd, it's bizarre. You should check it out. And coming to, I will also be joining Tales from the Cosmos. Hopefully this Sunday. I still need to get my character put to the sheet, but I will probably get to that tomorrow. If you want to know what I'm playing there, you're just gonna have to tune in to find out. But with that said, I believe that's all we have for tonight. So let's say goodbye, everybody, and we'll get out of here. Goodbye.
Have a good night.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a good
Goodbye.
one.